Encore presentation of this program, KCAA, the Inland Talk Express.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best.
Welcome back, everybody. Happy Sunday. You are listening to Whatever Works on KCAA, 1050 AM and Express 106.5 FM. I'm your co-host, Kyle Kerrigan, and today we have a very special guest. Sam is in the building. He'll be in here shortly. How's it going?
Pretty good. Thank you for having me on, man.
Yeah, of course. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Sonic. I've been in this music industry for quite a bit. Actually met Kyle a while back. So, we started with the shows and, kind of seen him doing the radio stuff. So I hit him up, see if he can get me on and talk about some stuff.
Awesome. Yeah. So I met you at Clash City Station. Like, I met a lot of great people. Shout out to Curtis, by the way.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. We actually did talk about him in a couple episodes ago. So, really good. Just feels really good reminiscing about the old times and,
Yes.
and just figuring out what's new and.
And you know what? It's like I was telling you earlier, I actually learned a lot from him.
Yeah.
So just the other day, I was on my way to the studio and I was actually listening to one of the songs that we made. And I'm like, damn, I'm never gonna get that back.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where you meet very good people and you don't forget them.
Right.
And that's really what life should be about in general.
Yeah, exactly. Between him and Faja, it's just. A lot, it's just when you get to know people and you're genuine with them, you know that if something could happen to either of us, then we know that we gave each other the full attention.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, that's, and that's the amazing thing about the music industry, especially in the Inland Empire, was, just meeting all these different people, hearing different stories.
Correct.
Seeing people come on and, talk about themselves. Tell the people what kind of music you make.
So my main genre, you could say it's hip hop.
Okay.
Right now, I've been kind of mixing it up with a little bit of Spanish hip hop or Mexican hip hop, whatever you want to call it. Some love songs too. There comes a time in your career where you have to kind of mix it up. You get bored with the same idea, the same concepts. So that's pretty much where I was at. So then I kind of just started trying new things, see how it worked.
Yeah.
Some people liked it, so I was like, hey, you know what? Stick with it.
There you go. So you're working on a new project, or is it out already?
Right now I've been dropping singles.
Okay.
I feel like it's a single game nowadays.
Right.
Even myself, I don't have the attention span for a full album. It'll take me a couple weeks, maybe a month to listen to someone's album. So I've been dropping singles. All these singles are going to be part of a project that I have called Midnight Confessions. And right now we're actually finishing up an EP, which is still unnamed, but we're pretty much close to being done. That one I'm dropping for one of my close buddies, Lil G909, very well known in the San Bernardino area. He has that different stilo movement, and man, it's been growing. And it's funny how it all started, man. It all started in my garage over pizza. We were talking about it, and he had just finished his contract with High Power, and we were talking about, he's like, yeah, I'm thinking of starting my own label. I was like, dude, do it. Just do it. Trust me.
Yeah.
I got your back. And we started doing it. We hit the ground running, I want to say. I kind of did my own thing for a little bit, but, came back to where I feel home's at. And had that discussion with him. I told him, hey, if you're willing to have me back, you know, I'm willing to be back. This is where I feel at home, you know, feel like I'm with family, so let's do it. I'm big on that. So, you know, now we're working together again, and like I said, right now we're working on that EP. It's unnamed. We have, I think, a hook to do on a song and 4 bars to do that I forgot to add, and after that, it's done.
Oh wow! So
Yeah.
it's like 99% finished.
99% finished. And then actually, I know I sent you guys a song.
Okay.
That's actually going to be a world premiere. Drops today at 6 p.m. on all digital
okay.
platforms.
So we'll get to hear it first.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Yeah, no, definitely. So what kind of made you transition in with your music? Is it the growth, or is it like more that you want to do something different?
I want to say it's the growth,
Okay.
because I've always been about being authentic,
Yeah.
and obviously one of the biggest things that, you know, kind of pulled me away from music, we were talking a little bit earlier, was my son. So I fully, you know, I want to say I'm a full-on family man now. So
Yeah.
it's like I can't be talking about all this stuff that I'm not living anymore, you know. So it feels weird.
Yeah.
I'm not out partying. I'm not out, you know, at the clubs. I'm not out at the parties and hanging out. So it's like it doesn't seem authentic. I don't want to really
Right.
talk about it. You know, so you know, everyone's been through heartaches, heartbreaks,
Yeah.
breakups, all that. So that's kind of what shifted the direction of the music. I definitely feel is that, like I said, personal growth, and it's just, you know, I'm not saying I don't drop, you know, a couple tracks here and there where it's, you know, hip hop or you
Right.
know, street music or all that. I still do, but it's just, to me, it doesn't seem like I'm fully invested in that lifestyle, so there's no
Right.
point for me to do it.
Yeah. No, you're just trying to find that clientele that fits the era in your life currently.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. You know, I can't wait to hear the song. We'll probably play it after the half.
Sounds good.
So what's been the biggest change overall, like within your life when it comes to music? Is it like the genre twist, or is it more the bars, or is it more?
I want to say
You know.
it's the genre twist, definitely.
Okay. Yeah.
I've always been a big fan of wordplay and,
Right.
and you know, try to complex my lines a little bit. So, you know, I want people to kind of understand and say, oh man, like, I want them to dissect my bars. I've always been that person. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want them to just,
Yeah, run it back.
yeah, exactly. Run it back. Wait, did he really
Yeah.
just say that?
Yeah.
You know, I kind of, I did a feature on a friend's record where I said, '06 Kobe, ain't no one stopping my soaring. And then in the background, you hear like a little jet flying. And he's like, bro, wait. He's like, were you like saying? I was like, no. It ain't that. It ain't what you're thinking. I was like, but definitely it's kind of like, hey, you know what? Like,
Yeah.
he was on top. And no one was going to stop him at that time. And I was like, that's how I feel right now, you know? Little things like that, you know, on this EP, there's another line where I say, if your boy in a chair, you best pick him up. We boys in the hood. You know, and
Yeah.
it took a couple people to be like, oh, that's a cool, you know, Boys in the Hood reference. I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm glad you guys caught that and it wasn't something
Right.
else, you know. Definitely, it's one of those things where I like to play with my music like that. But the big difference is definitely, I want to say the genre twist, because I wanted to switch it up. You know, I just, again, so I want to say, what was 2023, I went out to Texas to work, and, you know, my old lady and all the kids stayed back. So you know, I mean, I felt lonely, man. I was out there alone. So
Yeah.
I feel like I got bored. So I'm like, all right, you know, let me try to write something different. And I started noticing it was really not dark, but very sad, you know. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I like this. Like, I could get used to this, you know. And then that's when I started thinking, everyone goes through a heartache. Everyone falls in love. I was like, so let me just kind of stay in this little lane for a bit and you know, see where it goes,
Definitely.
you know.
Who have you ever worked or wanted to work with some artists out here that you haven't been able to work out with or work with besides Lil G?
Honestly, there's The only one that I want to say, but I mean, if we're being honest, to me, it's not like he's not accessible. It's just the money ain't right.
Okay.
It would be MC Magic.
Okay.
That's one
Yeah.
cat that I would really, really want to work with. And also he has an artist. I don't know if you heard of her, J Rocks.
I think I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, she, my kids, my girls really love her. She, I like her voice, man. Like, she gets down, so it's one of those things where that's another person. But again, it's like, yeah, the money's not right. At least at this point with the projects that I'm working on, it doesn't make sense to kind of drop what they're asking for on a feature,
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah, definitely. What about stage presence? Have you been on any stages since COVID or?
Man, nah, the last time I was on a stage was 2019, I believe. Oh, no, you know what? No, I lied. Yeah, there was. There was a couple of shows that we did, the little benefit shows. So it was kind of more like we were at a park,
Okay,
kind of
yeah.
type thing. But from there on, like actual shows I haven't done since we did that little tour for my Steal a
Really?
Boy album.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, it's 2019.
Yeah, 2019. And we were talking about that. I remember that started like early 2019, and I didn't finish doing shows till like June of that year.
Yeah.
So that kept me busy. But that's really the last time that I've been on a stage like that.
Oh, okay.
Again, the benefit shows. I'm not saying that it wasn't that, but it was a different vibe, honestly.
Right. It wasn't like an actual, being there inside.
Correct.
Yeah,
and I
I
feel
get
like the
that.
people there were already there to kind of hear us out. They knew who we were, so it was a little bit different opposed to how what we were talking about. When you go and do a show,
And you don't know anyone there.
you don't know anyone. You
Yeah.
have to attract that crowd. They're there for
Right.
someone else, but you want them to be like, "Hey, remember that one guy? That was
Yeah.
on stage that went. What was his name?" That's what you want at the end of a show. Like for people to remember that.
Yeah,
And,
definitely.
Again, we talked about it, man. Curtis taught me that stage preference where, man, like you have to interact with the crowd. You
Yeah,
have
definitely.
to, and you got to get them engaged, and that's kind of what I started doing. And I feel I kind of adapted that to my music as well too. you know?
Definitely, yeah. No, I like when I still hear that Psycho song that he did. I still see the crowd in my head.
Right?
Rock out to it.
And remember, I don't know if you remember when we did a couple shows out at wow, what was it called over there in Colton?
Oh, the Hub.
Was it the Hub?
I think it was the Hub. Yeah.
Yeah, where
That was the biker bar.
yeah, he had people mosh pitting there too.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, man. And even to this day, like if me and my old lady are arguing or whatever, it's like, dude, you're a psycho. And then I'll start psycho, straight psychosis.
Yeah.
Or she'll say
Yeah.
the same thing to me, and it's kind of like, man, little things where again you don't forget about,
Right, exactly.
So
Yeah, we had an artist at Clash City Station, and he worked at the McDonald's off Del Rosa.
okay.
And what he did was he was putting his mixtapes in people's food.
Oh damn. Okay.
And so he got written up from corporate from that. He had to like sign this whole thing, and he says, okay, so he started putting them in Happy Meals, and he did it for months.
That's smart.
Yeah. And he actually got picked up. Someone from like some big cat in L.A.
Okay.
happened to be in the area. He had family in the area. Went to McDonald's to get his kids some food. Found the mixtape, heard it, liked him, and now he's doing music out in L.A. and.
Damn. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna start putting my mixtape, my albums in people's little packages or whatever. But no, that's such. So I'm guessing him being written up, someone had to go and complain about it.
Oh yeah, it was a Karen. It was a whole big thing.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, she
Eh.
came in.
He's just trying to grind. That's it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Respect the hustle, honestly.
Yeah, he was just out of high school too, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know he went to San G, and he had the whole work permit thing where he could work and go to school.
Okay.
And then he graduated, still worked there, worked his way up to like team lead, and he had this Karen scream at him and this whole corporate thing.
That's
And he was talking about it on stage. It was hilarious. I'll never forget. This was like 2017.
Oh, okay.
And oh man, it's good. He's doing pretty decent now. Have you ever done anything crazy like that to get your music out or wanted to?
You know what? I want to say when I was kind of very aggressive with passing out my projects was when I was in high school.
Yeah.
But then again, at that time, I really don't think I was taking the music seriously.
Okay, yeah.
I was just really, YouTube instrumentals and all that, and dropping, I want to say, half-made bars. They weren't all that great or anything like that. So it was one of those where I actually came across a song not that long ago, and it was one like really, I was really handing this out, saying, "Hey, check me out. I'm the next thing to come up." It's like,
Yeah.
but again, if you don't believe in yourself, who will?
Right.
You know.
exactly.
But it's one of those things where now I'm like, I can't believe I was actually handing this out. But I kind of, so when I really took the music seriously was 2017, right? So fairly, I want to say recently. And we would go out and hustle CDs, in the tour van with Lil G. And I remember we were out in Fontana, and some guy rolls up and he's like, "Hey, what are you guys handing out?" I'm like, "Dude, like, we got some CDs for sale. We got T-shirts."
Yeah.
He's like, "You got your CD?" I was like, "Yeah, check it out. This is my mixtape." I had just dropped my 2 mixtapes. So I was like, I'll let him go both. I think it was like $5. I was like, both of them for 5. He's like, 5? He's like, "Look, I'm going to tell you what, homie." He's like, "I'm going to take them. I'm going to take them." He's like, "To support you." He's like, "But look," he's like, "my radio don't even have a CD player." And I was like, man, that's crazy. So, most of the newer cars nowadays don't have CD players. That's when I realized, like, I got to go digital.
Right.
But, I mean, if we're being quite honest, man, these digital platforms don't really, allow you to make money unless you're,
At all.
unless you're in
Hardly
a
at all.
million streams, like, you're not making money, man.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell anybody who, hey, what do you think about the music or this and that, digital platforms? I'm like, dude, you're not going to make a dime. I'm going to be honest. Like, you're going to waste more in studio time and promotion and all that what you're really going to make. And that's just the
Yeah.
truth of it. So unless you're in the mindset of, hey, I'm doing it because I love it, you're not going to be satisfied with the results,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about making money with like sponsorships and stuff.
Correct.
Or people who confront your music and pay for that studio time now.
Correct.
Rather than getting paid from the actual music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, right now, honestly, I'm very appreciative of Little G. He's been, paying my studio time and all that, just, making sure the projects are done and all that.
Yeah.
It's one of those where, it's that brotherhood more than anything, but, he definitely realized the last time when I dropped my album, actually, I dropped an EP for him and an album. So he's seen my work ethic. He's like, you know what, all right, I'm going to give this guy another chance. Let's bring him on,
Yeah.
And to see what he's got. To see if I still have the fire, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, no, I can't wait to hear that song. But what's been your motivating factor besides like your kids and your wife or your girl, and what's been a motivating factor for you to keep doing this? Is it just
I'm going to be honest, man. I really wish I could say something else, but once you get to my age, it really is just the family.
yeah,
Man.
okay.
That you want to make sure they're living comfortable. You want to make sure they're okay and taken care of. And, I mean, like I said, yeah, I love music. I really do. So if I'm good at something, why not use it to, secure a future for my kids?
Right.
Definitely. Because I look at it now, like, I'm not saying my dad didn't do the best he could for me and my sister, but, I mean, we're all heading in that direction, but the day comes that he's missing, we don't have a future lined up for ourselves except the ones that we've built for ourselves.
Right.
And we don't think about that, I don't know if it's a culture thing, to be honest, but definitely we don't get taught that growing up. So it's one of the things that me and my sister kind of talked about it, and it's like, hey, we got to secure something for our kids. So the
Right,
day
exactly.
that, if we're ever missing, we're no longer on this earth or whatever, they're taken care of and they're able to do what they got to do.
Yeah, it's definitely all about family. Because, like, I don't know if you know this, but I actually grew up. My entire mom's side of the family is Mexican.
Okay.
Yeah, both of my grandparents on my mom's side are from Mexico.
Oh, okay.
So I get it. Family's a big thing. Family is everything.
Yeah.
And you definitely want to put them and sometimes I feel like you're putting them before yourself.
Correct.
Whether it's healthy or not. It.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I tell my old lady because she's at home with the kids all the time. Honestly.
Yeah.
And there's times where, I get it. It's her. We kind of talk about that. It's her function. It's her role to take care of the kids. But it's like you can't fully always be invested. Like there's times where you have to be able to kind of get your mind off of it and do something.
Right.
Besides be a mom, because then, you see that it takes a toll on them, on parents and, having an autistic son is not easy.
Right.
It really isn't. So I know she has her hands full, and I'm lucky I get to go to work and kind of escape for a little bit. I'm not saying work is easy, but
right.
at least I have that escape from mom.
Yeah.
I get that little escape. I know she doesn't. She's
Right.
mom all the time, and then I get home and she's babe all the time. Babe, have you seen this? Babe, have you seen that? But
Yeah.
definitely, like you said, sometimes it has to be shut off, so it's not always the healthiest thing to always worry about family,
Right.
it really isn't, but I think it's kind of embedded in our brains since we're little too. Hey, family's everything. So
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about you said your son's autistic.
yeah.
Let's kind of dissect that a little bit. When did you find out about the issues that he was having, or that he needed a little bit more help?
So we noticed early on, he turned 2. When he turned 2, he kind of regressed. Up at that point, he was talking. I hate to use the word normal, but
Yeah.
he was meeting his milestones and all that. And then after 2, he just started regressing. Not really trying to eat, being a very picky eater, not really talking, not really learning anything new. So we asked the doctor, we're like, hey, we've seen signs of what we read up were signs of autism. Doctors were like, hey, you know what, we feel he's too young to be tested. There's certain things that we can't do quite yet. So we kind of had to just, okay,
Yeah.
accept it, and it is what it is. Then at 4 years old, we went back and we're like, hey, he's still in diapers, he's still not talking, behaviors are really bad when we're out in public. So that's really what got their attention. They're like, okay, we'll test him. So they tested him, and they said that he was very low on the second spectrum
Okay.
in autism. And the doctor was like, hey, I feel with therapy he'll do good, and he'll go back on the first tier and definitely be very high functional. You guys won't even be able to notice. Well, that was a challenge in itself. We went through all the right channels and try to get him, his OT therapy, his speech therapy, and his what is it, the in-home one? Because you have OT, which is occupational therapy, speech, and behavior.
Okay.
The IBA. So we're like, hey, here's everything that the doctors gave us. We waited for phone calls. We would call, send emails, nothing. So finally, the next year, we're like, dude, he's about to be 5. He has to start school. Still nothing. So we went back and we're like, hey, we haven't heard anything. We've been calling, sending emails, all that, and still nothing. So doctor's like, well, at this point, the referral is expired. I have to re-diagnose him. So she did testing again. We got him going again. Luckily, this time around, we got him the help that he needed.
Good.
But I'm going to be honest, we got an amazing, and when I say amazing, that's an understatement, therapist. His OT therapist, I believe she told us that she's done speech before, but point being is, a lot of the things she gave us a lot of pointers that she really didn't have to. You know, they didn't really relate to OT, but she's like, hey, try this, hey, try that, and a lot of the stuff helped us out. You know, to
That's good.
because we felt like we were, you know, paddling against the river current, man.
Right.
You know, we can't be out in the public because we get the stares. You know, people think, oh, you know, they can't control their son. You know, they probably baby him, they probably, you know, spoil him. But it wasn't that. It's just, you know, he was having behaviors because, you know, their brains work different. So
Right.
he's freaking out at the store. And really, all those little things that she would tell us, like, we started doing them, and it helped them calm down, you know. Things like that, where we're like, I remember the first thing that she told us was the sensory videos. There's some on YouTube, right? You put in autistic sensory video for autism, and it's just a bunch of little lights, you know, different colors, and you know, calming music. And we did that because we had gotten home. He was so used to it, every day we would have to take him to the store. So we tried it. We're like, no store. We're going home. He was throwing everything. He threw his phone. He was trying to bang his head. And we're like, the video. We put it on, and he's just staring at it. It calms down. And man, no lie, me and my old lady look at each other, and we just start crying. We're like, wow, like, it really worked.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like at the end of the tunnel, you know?
Right.
Like, we're heading in the right direction and getting him the right help. And again, all that speech and everything took a while. So he just started school. So he started school late. He started in October. But even then, like, again, it's little victories, man. Now he's very vocal.
That's good.
You know, it's just still, like, we haven't been able to get the ABA, which is the behavior therapy, and we call and, you know, again, leave voicemails. But man, sometimes I feel like that healthcare system is designed for you to lie to them or something, because it's like we try to be as honest as possible, and it's like, okay, yeah, don't worry about it, and we never get phone calls back, you know. And we hear this a lot.
Yeah, this is...
You know, when we talk to other people, and that's really the thing, man. When you find out your kid's autistic, you feel alone, because especially, well, at least me growing up, I never heard that word. You know, I never knew, oh yeah, well, he's autistic or anything like that. So I don't have friends or family whose kids are autistic. So we felt alone. We're like, man, we don't know what to do, you know. But luckily, we live in a world where technology is our best friend. So
Yeah.
Google definitely helped us out here and there.
Were you able to find, like, some other people?
So it's a funny story, man. I was actually working at a warehouse in Rancho, where a truck driver comes up to me and he's like, hey, I seen your tattoo. I have the little puzzle piece where it says it's
Oh,
okay
yeah.
to be different. And he's like, I seen your tattoo. He's like, someone in your family's autistic? I was like, yeah, my son. He's like, my daughter's autistic. I was like, oh, no way. We started talking. He's like, there's a thing called Adrian's World, man. He's like, it's kind of a small organization that, you know, at least once a month they hand out, you know, stuff that you might need, supplies, food, all that. He's like, they host events for holidays, all that. And, you know, I told my old lady, I was like, hey, we should check it out. And through there, you know, we met people, and I know she's also, like, his wife was the same way. She didn't know anybody and kind of had to learn from scratch.
Right.
So she communicates with her. But also, like, now when we're out and about, we're able to identify. And, you know, it's like, just yesterday we were out at the swap meet in Fontana, and we seen a family with a stroller that we identified as, that's one of the strollers they give you when your kid's autistic, their insurances. So I'm like, hey, you know, we've been trying to get that. So I was like, hey, like, can I ask you where you guys got that? And she's like, oh, through our insurance. And we started talking, and, you know, it's like, it's crazy because, like, oh, now you realize, you know, they know what we're going through. They've been
Right.
through it. You know, we kind of, you know, talked a little bit, you know, like, yeah, man, did you guys struggle? Yeah, it's been a crazy journey, but, you know, this is where we're at. And they were telling me it took them a year to get that stroller.
Right.
You know, it's like, man, like, these are stuff that, you know, our children need. It's not to make our lives easier, it's to make their lives easier.
Right.
Because this is where I think it gets a little depressing, if I'm being honest. When I think about my son being autistic, I don't see him as, oh, he's an autistic kid. I see him no different. I see him as my son. But the one thing I do think about is they're taught through all these therapies how to sit there and how to interact with regular people and all that. But not once do we sit here and we think, in their head, they're constantly going 1,000 miles an hour,
Right.
saying, okay, well, I learned this. I have to do this to try to cope. You know, once they have a sensory issue going on, okay, well, usually this is what I do. I have to chew on this, or I have to do this. He's in his head 1,000 miles an hour, and a lot of these kids they're intelligent, man. It's amazing, you know, and knowing that they're sitting there in their head processing all this, and here we are just, hey, listen, you gotta listen, you know, and they're just constantly going, and that's what I told my old lady. I'm like, it's sad because he will never have a calm mind. He's never just gonna be relaxed.
Yeah, he's not going to slow down and enjoy life.
Exactly.
The
I was
way
like,
we do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, I was like, that sucks. That really does suck. But man, as far as man, he's such a happy kid. He really is. And that's one weird thing.
That's good.
Yeah, they tell us that I guess autistic kids they can't really process emotions.
Right, very well, yeah.
Yeah, somehow this kid, he knows when we're sad. He knows when we're mad. Like if we're sad, like he'll kind of just go up to us there and he'll lay down next to us and show us what he's watching on his phone. You know,
That's awesome.
Yeah, like try to get our minds off of it, you know, or he'll say some silly stuff, you know, we're like, dude, like you're silly, dude. You
Yeah.
know? But yeah, like I said, so that really, it's a full-time job in itself, you know.
Oh, definitely. More. It's like overtime.
It's overtime.
Yeah, it's overtime, and you're definitely not getting paid for that overtime.
Correct. You know, and I really do think that like the hardest thing for us has been the public stuff.
Right.
Because out in public, you know, it can be the lighting that kind of sets him off. It could be
Right.
the
Everything's-
sound, texture, anything really. And once he shuts down, you know, people hear the crying and they're like, oh, look at this kid. You know, and it's like, dude, like, come on, shut your kid up. And it's like, whoa, it's not that easy, you know. It's not
Right.
him being bad or anything. And obviously we do have to be parents. We have to, you know, hey, calm down, you know, stuff like that. But it kind of sucks knowing that he's not doing it purposely. You know, it's not
Yeah.
bad behavior, you know.
Right. You know, I'm sure he's gonna grow up and he's gonna realize, you guys did everything the best you guys did,
Yeah,
and he's gonna be a brilliant kid.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I always tell him, I'm like, hey, you gonna be a doctor, right? He's like, no.
He's like, no.
No, but yeah, you know, he loves playing doctor. But I'll be honest, man, like this kid, like I get it. Everybody looks at their kids like, oh, my kid's so smart. And I really don't like being that parent. I really
Right.
don't. But like, for example, he taught himself the alphabets.
Wow.
He taught himself, like, if he wants to learn, like, when he was nonverbal, he could name almost every dinosaur. You know,
Wow.
and he taught himself that through YouTube. Like, he kept press rewind.
All right, so we got a 5-minute break, and then we'll come back and we'll play your song.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys for listening to Whatever Works on KCAA. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in Durga, walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best.
From the Bureau of Economic Geology, this is Earth Date. Here's a kind of weather you may not know about. Every few days, the sun emits electrically charged particles, which stream to Earth in what we call solar wind. And when solar wind meets the Earth's magnetic field, we sometimes get a magnetic storm. Magnetic storms can interfere with satellite, GPS, and radio signals, but their most serious effect is when they create electrical fields in the Earth's interior. These electric fields have melted power line transformers and even caused a power grid in Canada to fail, leaving 6 million people without electricity. Magnetic storms are more common at higher latitudes, where they create the famous northern lights. During intense storms, these auroras can light up the sky much farther south, into the central United States and beyond. How much a magnetic storm could affect the power grid depends on geology. Sedimentary rocks, like sandstone and limestone, are good conductors. In areas with these types of rocks, the natural currents tend to stay in the ground. But igneous rocks, like granite, are poor conductors. Here, electrical fields look for more conductive paths, which tend to be man-made networks, like power grids, and which may not be able to withstand that unpredictable extra current. To help utility companies safeguard against these effects, scientists are combining ground conductivity data with magnetic storm history to produce a geoelectric hazard map. It's a new way of weather forecasting that just may help keep the lights on. I'm Scott Tinker, and thanks for listening.
Earth Date is produced by the Bureau of Economic Geology at the University of Texas at Austin. Earth Date is researched by Julie Hennings, written by Harry Lynch, and distributed by Mark Blunt and Casey Walker. For more stories, follow us on Facebook or visit earthdate.org.
And now, the voices of KCAA with an exciting announcement.
Want to hear NBC News or KCAA anywhere you go? Well, now there's an app for that.
KCAA is celebrating 25 years and our silver anniversary with a brand new app.
The new KCAA app is now available on your smart device, cell phone, in your car, or any place.
Just search KCAA on Google Play or in the Apple Store.
One touch and you can listen on your car radio, Bluetooth device, Android Auto, or Apple CarPlay.
Catch the KCAA buzz in your earbuds or on the streets, celebrating 25 years of talk, news, and excellence with our new KCAA app.
Just do it and download it.
KCAA, celebrating 25 years.
How you doing? This is Gary Garver. In today's society, the majority of people are not getting enough sleep. I know I'm not. If you're like me and having problems getting a good night's rest, whether it's health or stress related, I have a solution for you. South Pacific Sleep Lab. South Pacific Sleep Lab will do an evaluation of your sleep pattern and will provide a comprehensive study so you can start getting a restful, peaceful night of sleep. They take all types of insurance, which will cover your cost of the evaluation, and they will even provide transportation to their offices at no cost to you. For more information, contact Tony at 310-999-1887. That's 310-999-1887. Tony even stays awake all night, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so you can sleep better and rest easy. South Pacific Sleep Lab. Start feeling better and getting a great night of sleep today.
TV journalist Jane Velez Mitchell here, excited to tell you about my show, Unchained TV, Animals, People, Planet. Most of us say we love animals. When we truly respect them, we benefit with a happier outlook, better health, even nicer weather. I'll explain when you join me Mondays at 1 p.m. on KCAA 1050 AM 106.5 FM, the stations that leave no listener behind. And check out UnchainedTV.com.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best.
Welcome back, everybody. Happy Sunday. You are listening to Whatever Works on KCAA. We had a really good half hour with Sonic. He was talking about his music, and he was talking a little bit about his evolution with his music and what it's like living with children with autism. He had some really good insight. If you want to tune in, you could listen to us on Spotify, Rumble, wherever you can listen to podcasts, or you can follow us at KCAA, Whatever Works. Hit us up. Sonic hit us up the other couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that's why he's here. So this could be you, talk about your life, talk about, whatever works. And you have some music with us today. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. So this is off that project that I told you, Midnight Confessions, where I'm going to be honest, it's all heartbreak music.
Okay.
And this is actually going to be live at 6 o'clock, so it'll be available at 6 p.m. Pacific time in all digital platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, everything you can think of, it'll be on there. So I wanted to premiere it here.
Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and play it. We got it queued up, Joe?
How you gonna tell me that you love me, that you always thinking of me? How you gonna tell me that you're trying to make it work, when all you did was make me hurt? How you gonna tell me that you wanna be with me, but turn around, walk away and leave? How you gonna tell me that you're trying to make it work, when all you did was make it worse? Tell me, how is it you don't want me to leave, when it was you who said it lived in misery? I gave you all I had, yes, I'm talking everything, all them good times, let me refresh your memory. It was me, who always had your back. It was me, who taught you how to love like that. It was me, yes, all of it, all the good, all the bad, every moment that you had. How you gonna tell me that you love me, that you always thinking of me? How you gonna tell me that you're trying to make it work, when all you did was make me hurt? How you gonna tell me that you wanna be with me, but turn around, walk away and leave? How you gonna tell me that you're trying to make it work, when all you did was make it worse? Why would you even say I'm your everything, then turn around and say that I didn't give you anything? You tell me that you love me, you tell me that you hate me. I don't even know who the hell you are lately. You're warm and you're cold, every day I die a little more. Every day that goes by I start losing hope. Every damn time that you walk out the door, at this point I don't even care, I just wanna know. How you gonna tell me that you love me, that you always thinking of me? How you gonna tell me that you're trying to make it work, when all you did was make me hurt? How you gonna tell me that you wanna be with me, but turn around, walk away and leave? How you gonna tell me that you're trying to make it work, when all you did was make it worse?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty good. That's definitely
Thank you,
different than
what you guys are used to, huh?
Yeah. I love it though, you know.
Thank you.
You know, it's got the Spanish guitar. I love that.
That I gotta give all my props to Joe at Little Green Studio. That's usually where we record, but man, that guy's a genius when it comes down to the guitar and all that.
Wow, that was really good. That was like Santana.
Yeah, that's what I told her. You're getting your Santana on, huh, Joe? I call him Joe Sachi. But yeah, man, that's one of the things that I like, that he definitely, when you come with him with an idea, he'll elevate it for you, you know. And as you can tell with that, you know, towards the end, he was just having fun with it, and I think that's what makes good music, man. When you're having fun with it. Yeah,
especially when you have that connection with the producer.
Yeah.
And then like you know so I know artists, and they've come on and talked about how they could just walk into a studio, be like, "This is my idea, I got you."
Yeah.
And 10 minutes flat, 15, they have something down, and it's magical. It's like. You know, it's like, man, are you in my head?
Yeah, and I've recorded at different studios, you know, and I mean, definitely by no means am I knocking any other studio, but it's like, I've been there where it's just like, okay, like, well, what do you think? Or what do you want to do? Whatever, you're the artist, you know, and it's like, no, like, I want you to give me feedback. If it sucks, tell me it sucks, man. Like, I'm okay with that, you know?
Yeah, it feels like you're putting in more work to get work done.
Correct. Yeah. And that's one thing I do appreciate about Joe. He'll tell me straight up. He's like, hey, you know what? No, something's not working, man. You know, no, it doesn't sound right. Try this, try that, you know. he'll definitely try to guide you in the right way. And if it doesn't sound good, he's like, if you look, I don't think this sounds good, but if you want to keep it, you're the artist. It's up to you.
Right.
You know, and definitely he'll make me rethink certain stuff that I do.
Yeah, that's good. So it's gonna be off your new project, Midnight Confessions.
Yeah, Midnight Confessions.
Awesome. And is there any other artists that to be featured on the record, or is it just you?
On this one, I actually do have, I think, actually just one artist. Her name is Gutra.
Okay.
I met her a while back. Unfortunately, she's not doing music anymore, so I was lucky enough to get a hook done by her, a chorus, which, man, when you guys hear that one, I think that might be my next drop, but that one's insane, man. I love that one. But yeah, that's really the only feature that I got on this project.
Gotcha. So is like the whole project gonna feel like this, like Spanish feel, like this guitar, or is it just this track specifically?
So I feel like this project's kind of everywhere.
Okay.
It gives you different emotions.
That's good.
Some will make you want to sit there and cry, and some will sit there and make you want to drink. It just really depends, but it's kind of everywhere. I just really do, like, if I put a label on it, it's sad music. That's really what it is. It's sad. It'll make you sad.
Yeah.
But no, because I have like 2 Spanish songs on it. You know, and I know this one kind of matches the vibe. But then I also have stuff where it's very, I want to say R&B-ish, you know?
Yeah.
And I have, like, the one that I have with Gutra, it's very, I want to say, it reminds me of, like, opera.
Oh, okay.
You know? Especially with her voice. But then again, when I add that little hip-hop twist to it, it kind of changes it up a little bit. It's different, you know?
Yeah.
Because again, I like to try something different and be successful at it.
Right.
You know, and I feel like this stuff that I'm bringing, it's working. Whatever I'm doing, it's working. So, you know, I'm always excited to bring it out. And, you know.
So it sounds like this project is more about, like, symphony, bring you closer to the people
Correct.
listening. You know, hey, you've been through heartache. Let me take you on this journey that I've been through.
Correct.
And then you can kind of reminisce on your own experiences too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's funny because, you know, if you ask my old lady, she'll tell you straight up. You know, the other day I was like, man, like, I don't know, I feel like I'm in a rush. She's like, you want me to break your heart so you could go ahead and write better music?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, because I've told her before, I'm like, I don't know, like.
You mean Taylor Swift the rap?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Hey, I told her, I was like, hey, don't break up with me because you're gonna get dissed. But no. In all reality, it's like I feel like your most realist music is when you're going through a bunch of stuff.
Right.
And that's what people relate to, you know, like.
Yeah.
If because everybody goes through, you know, something.
Yeah, because it's raw.
Exactly. So when they feel that, they're like, hey, you know what, like. It's maybe not exact, but I went through something like that, you know, and they identify it to the, you know, opposed to where, you know, we're talking about jewelry, we're talking about, you know, parties and all that stuff. Not everybody is in that lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, they might listen to the beat, they might listen to the cadence of the flow that we're spitting, you know, because they're like, hey, it sounds cool, but are they relating to the lyrics? No, they're not. And
yeah. You know, it's like one thing where you're relating to people, you know, maybe you ran away from home, you know, you got up into this gang. You know, rather than, you know, not everyone can relate to money and women.
Exactly.
And, you know, this high status, you know.
Yep.
And, you know, it's more real, it's more raw when you listen to, hey, you know, I've been through that. You know, I met a couple people that said that they were family.
Yeah.
And they ended up doing bad things with them, or, you know, like we all been through that.
Exactly.
You know, and we all have our stories from that. So, you know, I think it's cool. You know, I'm actually really excited for the project now.
No, thank you, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Because, you know, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, if you told me you were doing this, I'd be like, you know, I still would have been on, you know, like with you, but like, you know, hearing it, I'm like, wow, this is.
And you know what's
funny
era. That I actually started that project originally, like the Midnight Confession project. I started it right around that time.
Oh, really?
But it was a complete different direction when I first thought about it. And I actually have the single out on Spotify. It's called 2 a.m. So I mean, for the listeners out there, go check that one out, and you'll see it was originally gonna go that route, and then I was like, you know, I sat on it for a good while. I had like maybe like 4 songs recorded for it, and I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So then once I, you know, like I told you, you know, the whole my son and all that stuff, I took some time off, and I started kind of going back to like, I really want to bring this project out. But at that time, I already had been in Texas, wrote these other songs where I'm like, this is what I like right now. Like, this is what I want to, you know, do.
Yeah.
This is cool, but this is where I'm at. So legit, this went out the door, and then this took the name Midnight Confessions, you know. But yeah, I've had that project for that idea for a long, long time.
That's cool. So where can people find your music?
So you could go ahead and search me up on all digital platforms under Sonic, SONEK. I'm verified on all of them. You guys will be able to find me. And I'm also on Instagram. It's Sonic_music. Again, SONEK. I do have a TikTok, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm hardly ever on it.
Yeah, but we're not even sure that's gonna be around.
Exactly. You know, so
we'll have to go to Red Note or something.
Exactly. You know, it's one of those things that even, I mean, I did a couple videos on it. I'm like, you know, I kind of enjoyed it for a little bit, but I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go back to home. Instagram's home.
Yeah, no, definitely. You can connect with a lot more people on Instagram.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, you guys can find me on Instagram, and like I said, all digital platforms. Okay. Except YouTube, I think, because I mean I have a YouTube channel as well, but I'm never posting anything on it, man.
Gotcha.
I really should. And that's always been my thing, man. Visuals. I never do visuals, and I know I have to. That's really where it's at too, man. The visuals, videos, and all that.
Yeah, I know a couple of people who could probably plug you in. You know, into that. Perfect. You know, definitely. And one of them, he's a genius when it comes to it. So I'll definitely plug you into him.
Okay.
He'll take you know, you come to him with the idea. He's like Steven Spielberg when it comes to this stuff. I swear.
And that's all I am, man. I don't like. Don't get me wrong. We all know what sells. We all know what gets you views. But I'm very cinematic with my stuff, man. Like I want my stuff to be like, you know, a movie scene, like an actual movie scene. You know, like people to be like, "Oh, that video was crazy." I know. You know. But yeah, it's one of those things that like it's hard to find someone to sit there and kind of understand your idea when it's all over the place, you know.
Right.
And that's really where I'm at, because whenever I explain something, you know, I'm like, hey, you know, this is what I'm thinking, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah. Like, do you know what he meant? Yeah, exactly. You know, but yeah, it's just I'm crazy like that when it comes down to especially visuals. Like I have a certain way playing in my head that it's supposed to be. And
yeah, it's like a movie. It's like, you know, it's not just getting it done. It's start to finish.
Correct.
It's about the, you know, it's about the finesse.
It has to make sense.
Yeah, it has to make sense. Yeah, and that's you know, that's another thing I like about Curtis too. You know, when it came to him writing music.
Yeah.
It was always, it wasn't just hip hop. It was more, you know, from the branding. You know, everything was plugged in. Everything.
Correct.
And so, you're with Different Stilo, and so you want to incorporate that too.
Exactly.
And so, you want to tell people what you're about, and maybe they can plug you in, and you can get views and money that way. You know, whether it's through merch or it's through.
And that's one of the things that I've always appreciated about Little G too, man. He's very supportive in a sense where he'll tell you straight up. He's like, hey, you know, don't get me wrong. I love you rocking for the movement, but try creating your own logo, your merch.
Yeah.
And if you do, he'll sit there and he'll promote it. He'll sit there and rock it and be like, hey, you know, check out my artist, new logo, new brand, whatever. And he'll sit there and try to uplift you, you know?
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome, man. I know you don't get that everywhere
Right.
you go, especially when it comes down to record labels and all that. So.
Are you selling merch right now?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. I know I tried during that era when I was doing that tour, but you know, again, right now since I took so much time off, right now I'm just trying to focus on the music.
Yeah, focus on the music.
Yeah, and get back in it.
Definitely. So we got 1 minute left. What's something you can tell the people out there, you know, just to kind of motivate people who are getting into music, or maybe people who are, you know, have children with autism? You know, what's a message you want to get out there real quick?
The number one thing that this applies in life in general: don't give up, no matter what. don't give up, and always look for the light at the end of the tunnel. That's always going to get you through everything, knowing that there is a finish and it will work out as long as you sit there and give it your all and don't give up. That's it.
I love that. And one more time, where can they find you?
All streaming platforms. You can find me under Sonic, S-O-N-E-K, and Instagram, you guys can find me under Sonic Music. SONEK_music. Sonic Music.
There we go. Thank you guys for listening to Whatever Works. Sonic, it was really good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on. We'll have to have
Appreciate
you
it.
on again.
Yes, sir.
Again, we're at the 4 o'clock hour. We just moved to this beautiful studio in San Bernardino. So thank you guys for listening in. And until next week.
The most diversified radio station on the dial, KCAA.
This segment sponsored by our friends at the all-new Sammy's Restaurant. Sammy's is now open in Calamasa at Exit 88 off the 10 freeway next to the Jack in the Box in the former Bob's Big Boy Restaurant. Not to name drop, but Sammy's in the former Bob's is a lot like Norm's. It has an extensive menu. With multiple restaurants in Rialto and places like Upland and Rancho Cucamonga, Sammy's is a great place to dine. Their menu is very similar, with their American trio of delicious steak, shrimp, and chicken, and an expansive menu. You won't go hungry, and you won't go broke at Sammy's. You can come meet Sammy and his family. Sammy was a chief cook for Norm's for years, and it shows in his menu. Sammy's is a great place to meet the family, friends, or have a community meeting. You can ask about their private meeting room, available for parties of 15 or more on a first-come, first-served basis. Sammy's is now open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day at 540 Sandalwood Drive off of Exit 88 at the 10 freeway in Calamasa. Look for the Big Boy statue. It's still there. We thank Sammy for returning to this station as a loyal sponsor. You can find more info about Sammy's at sammyscafe.net. That's sammyscafe.net, where you can also find discount coupons to save money. And by the way, Sammy's has free Wi-Fi too. Sammy's in Calamasa, Rialto, or one of their other locations are ready to serve you. Sammy's is now open in Calamasa.
In these times, sometimes you have to take away the stress or dress to impress. Lux Transportation has just the ticket for you and your needs to relax, kick your feet up in style, and make some new fun memories. Looking for a hassle-free, comfortable ride? Experience the ultimate in luxury. Transportation in a sleek, luxurious black-on-black SUV. Private, discreet rides, airport runs, sightseeing, proms, weddings, and romantic date nights are all ahead in your future with Lux Transportation. Karaoke, disability-friendly, and no problem, we're also senior citizen-friendly too. Call or text Mr. Hollins to take away the stress at 951-399-5425. That's 951-399-5425. Lux Transportation, when you need the absolute best.
This segment sponsored by our radio listening post in Yucaipa. Yucaipa Farm Fresh Produce, where you can get healthy in the heart of Yucaipa. You'll find locally sourced fresh fruit, vegetables, farm eggs, honey, fresh bread, nuts, and for your sweet tooth, delicious ice cream and locally produced candy from licorice to chocolates, all to your heart's content. It's Yucaipa Farm Fresh Produce, just down the street from Toscano's Pizza, between 13th and 14th on Yucaipa Boulevard. Open every day, weekdays from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on weekends to 5 p.m. For more info, you can call 909-790-6106. That's 909-790-6106. Shop local with Yucaipa Farm Fresh Produce. Tell them you heard it on this radio station and saw it on the DNA advertising screen inside the store. It's Yucaipa Farm Fresh Produce.
You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda at 106.5 FM, K293CF Moreno Valley.
Located in the heart of San Bernardino, California, the Teamsters Local 1932 Training Center is designed to train workers for high-demand, good-paying jobs in various industries throughout the Inland Empire.